cold when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We are a part of God's great big family. And the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make it brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. Well, send them your heart. So they
Welcome, and welcome. Good morning. This is the Partnership Show with your host, George Wright. Today, I'll be sitting in for George Wright as your guest host. My name is Joshua Williams, and I'm a program coordinator with the Partnership. And, you know, just focusing on that song that we just heard, We Are the World, We Are the Children, We Are the Ones to Make a Brighter Day. So let's start giving. And I think that song was recorded in 1985 or 1984, I believe. And I was about 5 years old or so when that song was released. And the most significant part of that song was that it's a group of, you know, the most creative singers, artists, and producers of that era who came together and combined their talent to spread a message of hope and change throughout the world. This song really preaches coming together and making a positive impact on the world as a collective unit or a strong network. Now, that leads me to the definition of who the Partnership is and our overall mission. The Partnership is a nonprofit umbrella organization that operates one of the largest publicly funded workforce systems in the nation, serving Chicago and Cook County. We have nearly a network of 100 agencies in Chicago and Cook County that offers job search and training assistance, largely at no cost to job seekers and the businesses involved. We connect job seekers to careers, and we connect employers to talented job seekers that are available to hire. We're also equipped with a team that specializes in working with employers, helping them find the local talented teams that they need to create the workforce of the future. Right now, our business coordinators who work with employer partners know more of 900 open positions, 147 employer partners throughout Chicago and Cook County. So a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunity. Now, if you want to be able to connect with those opportunities and those resources, please give us a call. Our American Job Centers are literally the front door to the Partnership. So connect with us at 800-720-2515. You can also reach us online at levelupajc.org to get all the information about the resources we provide that you can gain assistance with. And please check us out on our website at shycookworks.org. You can also follow us on all social media platforms at shycookworks.org. Now, we are in the spirit of coming together as a collective and as a strong network to make positive change in our community. We have UCAN on the line with us today. UCAN is respected and connected throughout Chicagoland. UCAN is a nonprofit social service agency that builds strong youth and families through compassionate healing, education, and empowerment. If you see that green and white, you know it's UCAN, and that's the power of potential. UCAN seeks to increase youth participation in leadership and development programming by expanding services to meet an obvious, ever-growing need in the community. UCAN is a member of the Partnership Network, providing youth services and really speaking to and uplifting the importance of a combined effort to make positive change in the communities that we serve. So today I have on the show from UCAN Edward Galetti as well as Jacqueline Somerville. Good morning, guys, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Awesome. I'm really excited to hear about all of the amazing things that UCAN does for the Chicago and Cook County. So, Edwin, let's start with who you are and what you do with UCAN.
Well, I'm Edwin Galetti. I am the Vice President of our Violence Intervention and Prevention Services, and my department is responsible for working with the highest risk youth in Chicago that are considered the most likely to be either a perpetrator or a victim of gun violence.
Absolutely. And as we know, that is a very, very important service that, is needed in the city of Chicago. So talk to me a little bit more about that, Edwin. Give me some insight of what it means to be in violence intervention and prevention and some of the things that you provide for the community to help with violence prevention.
So we operate under 4 domains. We do community engagement. We're responsible for community outreach and street outreach services. Of course, when an individual is impacted by gun violence, we respond by providing victim advocacy services to support our victims and or our families to ensure that they have the support they need to heal. On the back end of it, after we meet individuals in these spaces, whether it's through community engagement, of course, through our street outreach services, where we're out there canvassing neighborhoods and working with the highest risk. And then, of course, through our victim advocacy, we offer case management services that include, but not limited to, mentorship, therapeutic services, career pathway and education training, as well as helping individuals meet their individuals' needs that can consist of housing, basic needs, utility assistance, etc.
Absolutely. Oh, that's wonderful. Now, Edwin, if I'm a listener and maybe, I have some issues with violence or I need help with violence prevention or a relative of mine, is having issues, how can they contact you or how can they get in touch with UCAN to be able to utilize some of the wonderful services that you provide in violence prevention and intervention?
Well, you can visit our website at ucan.org, but specifically as it relates to my department, you can visit ucanlive.org. Under that domain, you're able to select and see what services best meet your needs, yes. And it'll allow you and provide information to contact the appropriate staff that will be able to get you started, yes, or assist with those services.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Edwin. And Jacqueline,
yes,
can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do with UCAN?
Absolutely. I am the Associate Workforce Director at UCAN, and I oversee a team that services youth from the ages of 16 to 24 under one of our programs, and another from the age of 18 to 58. And so what that looks like is that we provide services similar to what Edwin just shared. Even we do have some of his participants as well, but we provide services for those individuals that are looking to come back or to start into the workforce.
Awesome. And you mentioned that you were the Associate Director of Workforce Development over WIOA. Did I hear that correctly?
Over workforce, but that does include WIOA. Is correct, yes.
Awesome, great. And then so talk to the audience a little bit about what workforce development mean. I know that's kind of a relative term. Can you kind of explain to us what workforce development is and what does it mean for all of our listeners on the listening to the show today?
Absolutely. Thank you, Joshua. So workforce basically is saying that we provide services to help you get into a career or a job that will be able to give you a livable wage. And so we look at the landscape from our most population that are underserved, and we try to give them the services that include strong case management, direct employment placement, financial literacy, everything that really changes the trajectory of where they want to go and to build. And so that's what workforce is. A big word, but it's really just all working together, as you shared earlier, plus to be able to come together and to really move the needle of economic stability.
Absolutely. And as a listener listening in today, how do I have the opportunity to take advantage of your workforce development program? And what are some of the things I need to be able to do so?
Well, again, as everyone has shared, you can contact us via our website at ucanchicago.org. And we have a phone number that you can call. And that's area code 773-588-0180. And just ask that you want to speak to someone in the workforce department, and we'll be there to assist you. And also on our website, there is a hub spot that you can also input, and we will follow up with you information that you might have around employment services.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much for that information. I do have a list of questions for you guys because I want to know more about what UCAN is, what UCAN does, and again, for the listeners, how we can take advantage of that. So before that, I do have to let the audience know that we want you to be a part of the show as well. So give us a call at 773-591-1690 with all of your questions and all of your concerns, and we'll be able to address those on the show today. Now, so I do have a list of questions because I want to learn more about UCAN. I mean, it just appears that you guys are doing such amazing things in the community, in Chicagoland, and I think it's really important for us to get this information to the listeners. So let's start with you, Jacqueline. Describe for me a brief history of UCAN and the legacy of the work that you guys do with UCAN.
Yeah, thank you. UCAN have actually, I believe we just celebrated our 155th year of being in. Yeah. And so that is amazing, right? And so we are a community service agency, and we create safe places for caring spaces for our youth, our adults. We have foster care. We have transitional services. We do therapeutic and clinical services for our youth, for our young adults. And up under the hub of workforce and also what Evelyn is working on, we have the prevention and empowerment services. Yes. And so that's both of all of those pieces.
Yes. I understand that UCAN started as an orphanage for Civil War, during the Civil War. Can any of you kind of, Edwin, can you kind of speak to that a little bit?
So we were, as Jacqueline said, we were founded 155 years ago, and under the pretense of providing services to our children that were impacted by the Civil War, and it was under an orphanage. Since that time, we remain steadfast in that commitment. We do that through our family and transitional services. Today, we're recognized as the fourth largest youth service agency in Chicago, and we operate out of 17 service locations.
Mm-hmm. So, from the start of UCAN, you guys have really been invested in the betterment of the youth of the communities that you serve. So that really, really sums up, what you guys do, being in the business of serving our youth for over 160 years. So that is amazing. Yeah. That is amazing. And I think your tag is the power of potential. What's the significance of that message, the power of potential? What does that mean to you all?
For us, it's just that we believe that if we empower our youth, our families, and those that we encounter, they are tomorrow's leaders. Yes. And we strive to give them the toolkit that they need to be successful, impactful, productive members of society. And, of course, when we're thinking about workforce development, a livable wage where they can be self-sufficient.
Absolutely, absolutely. Before we move on to the other remaining questions, I do have a caller on the line. Tommy, are you there?
I am absolutely here. I want to say God bless you. Most importantly, to the individuals and the organization that they represent, and in the air of this excellent and the level up theme that is going on all over the city. My church, All Nation Church, has the level up for the ladies today at 520 East Sibley Boulevard. Is absolutely free. This is not a promotion of anything we're doing. This is in accordance with this great organization. I know of these people personally. See, I can only tell you what I know.
Yes.
See, when you get involved, you go around, and you go around these organizations. And this organization is an organization that needs to be promoted. It needs to be screamed from all the rooftops. And, in fact, it should not just be today. It should be every day that everybody knows of the accomplishment of this organization. One last thing. I would like to tell Chicago, I started my business from Melody Span Cooper and Hermine Hartman with the same level of project years and years ago. So for all of our young people, for all of our elders, for all those who do not believe, all you need to do today is listen, follow what these people are saying, show up like I did, and I guarantee anybody who hears the sound of my voice, you will succeed. God bless you, God keep you, and most importantly, God bless WVON.
Thank you so much for that, Tommy. Wonderful words that our audience definitely can heed and take from. Before we go back to the questions that I have for you guys, I really want to uncover UCAN for the listening audience to be able to have a fond understanding of, who you guys are and, how they as a community can benefit from all the wonderful services that you have. But before we move forward, we do have to pay a couple of bills. So we will be back. We'll go on commercial break. Again, this is WVON 1690, the Talk of Chicago, with The Partnership Show. Welcome back to The Partnership Show with George Wright. Thank you for all of our listeners who are here to listen to the wonderful information that we have from UCAN with Jacqueline and Edward. Guys, before we start, I have some more questions that I want to use to uncover information about what you guys do and who you are. But before we get back to those questions, I want to highlight a couple of career events that are happening at the end of May and in June as well. So the Cook County Career Connect is having a hiring event on May 29th at 9 a.m. from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's the Hospitality Hires North Hilton Evanston location, located at 1710 Orrington Avenue in Evanston, Illinois. There's another Career Connector event taking place on June 20th between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. It's all about manufacturing. So this career event is at the Moraine Valley College, Building M, in Palos Hills. So if you guys want to get more information about those Cook County Career Connector events and find your next career or make your next great hire at this event, please visit cookcountycareerconnect.org. And finally, a special note. Have you ever heard of the HBCU World Series? Well, it's a postseason tournament for HBCUs NCAA Division I baseball. This event was normally held in southern states, previously in Texas, Alabama, and Florida, but now it's made its way to Chicago Southland. So if you want to be a part of witnessing this amazing historical Black College University World Series, this year it will be held in Crestwood, Illinois at the Ozinga Baseball Stadium on May 28th through May 31st. So please check that event out. It's in Crestwood, Southland. It's an event that will be televised in the partnership with ESPN and the newly formed All HBCU Sports Network. Now, so UCAN, guys, again, you guys are doing amazing things in the community. You have been doing that for for centuries now. And I think that one thing that we have to know that's of importance is that this work isn't completed for free. You know what I mean? You can't do this without assistance from funding or outside sources helping with building the financial backing that you need to be successful. So talk to me a little bit about how you guys are funded and how you utilize funding to, make UCAN the amazing organization that it is today.
Okay. Well, we receive support through government and our legislators, as well as fundraising revenue, of course, investment and trust revenue. There's this a great opportunity to thank our funders, CHA, State of Illinois, the City of Chicago, of course, our private donors such as Staines and Crown. We also work with Laura Reese Children's Hospital. And then, the commitment of our board members and our great leadership of our fearless CEO, Krista Hamilton, who is constantly out there working with individuals to discuss our continual care and to get support, in order for us to scale and sustain. We talked a lot about the youth, but we also work with adults and families now. We expanded our services that way as well. But I would say about 91% of our funding is government. Of course, I guess this is an opportunity to invite you all to our Youth Leadership Awards, where you can visit our website. And this is our annual fundraiser event where we celebrate our youth and support them with their next steps in their path towards becoming sustainable and offering scholarships for individuals to do that.
Amazing. That is awesome. Yeah, shout out to the funders, right? Because without that support, some of these things, will not occur. Jacqueline, you had a comment?
I did. So as Evan was saying, our CEO, Krista Hamilton, is amazing. I'm going to shout out to her. Okay, because she really still embodies and helps us to understand that our youth that have been traumatized are our future leaders. Yes. And so as Evan was saying, that we have all of these services to be able to help them with the potential to see what they can be. And without our funders, without the partnership, without all of the funders that Evan listed, we couldn't do this work. We absolutely cannot do this work.
Absolutely. And again, go ahead, Jacqueline.
I said so. Thank you.
Yes. And again, it takes a collective. It takes an entire network to be able to come together and, with the same mission, with the same goal in mind, come together and put things together to make it work for the community and the goals and the missions that we have toward the youth that we serve. Now, you guys mentioned the partnership, right? And I believe that you are a part of our network providing youth services. So talk to us about how UCAN interacts with the partnership to come together to make things happen in the community.
Yeah, so we are proudly to say that we're proud of the partnership. And so through this funding, we've been able to serve, I want to say, thousands of youth over the past years. Yeah. And one of the areas that we provided, that we are supported, that you all undergird us with, is up under our career pathways and our industry training and certification. And so we have developed we've just completed our first CNA cohort for adults. And so we're very excited about that. They are taking their state board exam in 2 weeks. And so that's something that has never happened before at UCAN, but again, up under this leadership, Ms. Hamilton, pushing us in that area, and with this support, we also in hospitality. You mentioned that there was a hiring event, and so we prepare our adults and our youth to be able to come to these events with certification. So they have food management certification built out in our pathways. Also, up under hospitality. So all of these things are all aligned with the support that we get from the partnership and other funders.
And Jacqueline, you mentioned career pathways. That's another one of those terms, right? That I really want to get some more definition behind that. So what does the term career pathways mean for the audience and the listeners who want to know more about that term?
So I'm going to use Edwin and I, okay? So Edwin works at UCAN in workforce, and he is what we have there, a career specialist. Yes. I'm coming in. I want to be able to get into the healthcare field. I don't know how to do it. All I have is my GED, no certification, nothing else. And so then I come in, I call UCAN, and we say, hey, and then Edwin sits down and he talks to me. He really want to find out what I want to do. And he says, oh, it's healthcare. And so now we have a process where this person now takes some tests to see where they're at with their reading and their math, yes, helping to align with the pathway. And it's really, truly to moving where now at the end they go through a certified class, they do clinical, they go into the hospitals, and then they take their state board. And now this is how we develop not just jobs, we develop a career.
Absolutely.
And that's the path.
Yeah, that's and that's what I'm hearing, right? A map to get to the end point, which is ultimately the career that you will use, a sustainable career that you'll use to better yourself and better your life in the future. Go ahead, Edward.
If I can, I want to give an example on how we work together under the empowerment and prevention, the Prevention Empowerment Hub. Yes. For example, my department is specifically to reach the highest risk individuals to firearm violence, right? And we do every Thursday we have what is restorative justice court, and we have young men and women who have found themselves in unfavorable positions with the courts. So we had a young man, Patrick, I just want to give him a shout out, who was having a case that was adjudicated, yes, where he had a possession of a firearm. And when we engaged him, we attached him to one of our job corps coaches, Roy Pearson. I want to give him a shout out. He's an amazing man, where he helped that individual meet the conditions of the Restorative Justice Court, which is called a Restore Harm Agreement. When those conditions are met, these individuals are able to have their cases adjudicated favorably, where they won't have that stain on their background, which will ultimately make it a lot harder to enter the workforce, mm-hmm, and to pursue careers that are more, that will provide the financial support for him and his family going forward. So at that point, when the case was adjudicated favorably, we then connected them to Jackie and her team, because the individual had informed us that he was interested in obtaining his CDL. Yep. Now, at this point, this individual is at risk of being homeless. He's 21 years old, doesn't have much work history or the training behind him to be able to really get a sustainable wage, right? Yeah. To ensure that he doesn't find himself in the positions where he's either before the court and or, shot or injured on the street. Yeah. Once we connected that young man to that team, and they went through their assessments and he met the qualifications, he was a high-risk youth, and, that's some of the qualifications that the partnership would like for us to really focus on. Yeah. He went through the CDL program. Within about 6 to 8 weeks, he completed that program, which was fully paid through a voucher that the partnership offers. I believe it's up to $8,000 to $10,000. Once he completed that, Jackie and her team have a relationship with Snyder National. They were able to connect that young man to Snyder National. Just about 2 months ago, the young man finished 2 weeks of training. He visited our office the other day, and he was very clear how we impacted and changed his trajectory in his life. Now he can earn up to $88,000 a year. Mm-hmm. He's traveling over the road. Yes. He's also considering relocating because as he put it, I've seen things that I've never seen before. Wow. So, and he has his own place now. So without the support of the partnership and then the voucher that's made available to our youth and our adults, these things would not happen. Yeah. Right? Many of us don't know how to source opportunities to help fund our education. Many of us are not qualified for certain things, but through the partnership and the work that they've done in workforce development, we not only change that young man's life, but any future generations that he will encounter. And, of course, if he's a parent and whatnot. So we thank you all.
Well, that's just a testament to having the ability to build a solid network of people coming together, a collective, so to speak, of individuals coming together with the same goal, working towards the same mission, and putting our resource toward that to ultimately see the results of that in the community with the youth that we deal with. So that was a wonderful story. I love the stories of how opportunity, individuals who meet opportunity and really succeed from that. So thank you so much for that story. That was a wonderful story. Before we move forward, we do have a caller on the line. Dee Dee, are you there?
Yes, good morning to each and every one of you.
Good morning.
Thank you all for this program. So I have a couple questions. I would like to refer my grandson, I'll just use his initials, it's JG.
Awesome.
He's 19. I think he said he turned 20. Maybe, he had a birthday, turned 20. He is about to graduate from high school. I think he's going to one of those alternative high schools. He's a victim of violence. Said something about something was going on and lost one of his friends to gun violence about a couple of weeks ago or something. He was telling me when I saw him earlier this week. So I would like to refer him to the program. Unfortunately, I think he has a baby. Well, I won't say unfortunately because God gives life. He claims he has a baby on the way. Young lady. That's expecting. Yes. They're expecting his first child. And so I would like to refer him to the program. Also, I am interested in the program. I would like to know if you all have any, through your career pathways, do you have any type of training in the field of IT? That is my interest. And then lastly, I wanted to ask for you all's address and to confirm your telephone number. I wrote down 5330180, but I don't know if that's correct. And I would like to have your address as well, please.
Thank you so much for those questions, Dee Dee. Edwin, I'll have you tackle those questions if you can.
Okay, as it relates to your grandchild and your great grandchild and his family, again, you can visit youcanlive.org. There are several options for him to decide which pathway best meets his need. Being a recent victim of gun violence and a high-risk individual. Our youth are high-risk just by coming outside today, right?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
We do have services for him. We have mentorship. I would love for him to visit that website, engage us. Once he puts his information in there, one of my team will reach out to him. And from the pathway, what I do, we would do the assessments, ensure that we create some safety goals and some career goals for this young man. And then we would connect him to our workforce development department, which is Jackie. As it relates to the caller, she can call the number that was given to Jackie and ask for workforce development and express her needs, and then they will be able to help her. In the case and in any event that we do not have services for anyone that's on this call, we're confident that we do.
Yes.
We have trusted partners throughout Chicago that we work with. The number one thing is to remember, and we spoke on funding, some of the things that we do are limited. And in order to really see through our mission, we understand that we cannot do it alone.
Yes.
So we have trusted partners in our community that we lean on to assist with providing those wraparound services, right? We really want to put our arms around our participants and those that are requesting services. So we have something for everyone.
Yes, absolutely.
As far as location, I'm sorry, we are. You can find our main office is in North Lawndale, and we are at 3605 South Fillmore. West Fillmore, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jack.
And the number earlier was 773-588-0180.
And I think the most wonderful thing about a lot of community service organizations that provide services is that if we can't help you, we definitely know someone that will. And it's not enough to turn you around and say, no, we don't have that, we can't help you. It's part of our mission to be able to have the resources and know of people and organizations that can be able to facilitate whatever help that you might need. So I definitely recommend that you reach out to UCAN and see what's out there for you. And with that, I want to ask, because you stated that you guys serve individuals from 18 to 60. So talk to me about what other services you all provide. What are some things that our listeners can benefit from outside of violence prevention in youth?
Sure. So
Go ahead, Jackie.
Go ahead, Jackie.
for our adult population, we, as I shared, work with have direct employment placement. So we have employers ready to, and we help them fill their job orders. And so we believe at UCAN that it's the internal, helping the client or the participant, the job seeker, but also the external is so key to have the employers in place.
Yes.
So we have employers in place. We also have paid work-based learning opportunities where we work with the employer, and we have youth there or young adults there, and even older adults where we pay their work 25 hours a week, but they want to have a work experience, and we pay their wages for them. Also, we have the financial literacy. We get employment, right? And we have employment hope, but then when we get a job, we don't know how to manage our money, so then we get a little down about our employment, right? So how do we manage that? So we help them think through that piece with financial literacy and where that employment hope stays.
Awesome. So I know you said it real fast and passing, and I don't want to skip over this, but you mentioned paid internships. So what I'm guessing is that the participants will have internship ability to intern, and it's paid by you guys. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure. So one of our employers, several of our employers, we place them, and they want to hire them afterwards. So they'll work for one of our programs, work 10 weeks there, where we pay their salaries.
Yes. And
have the opportunity to get the work experience. Then the employer gets the opportunity to see if this is a good fit. And so if it's a good fit, then they get hired. That's one of our avenues of being able to support the employer as well as support the job seeker.
Absolutely. So in a sense, guys, if you don't have any employer or work experience, you can connect with UCAN, and they'll develop your skills and then ultimately put you on an internship where you can use those skills firsthand. So that's a great opportunity for participants. Go ahead, Jackie.
To say that UCAN.
Sorry, Jackie. Go ahead, Jackie.
No. We've served over 20,000 adults just this past year through services. And so I'm hoping that Evan will share a little bit about what that looks like, even around our spiritual wellness piece that we do.
Yes.
So if I may, I don't want to just, humbly brag on what Jackie and I do at
but let's talk about it.
At our entity.
But let's talk about it.
There's a wealth and a plethora of services offered, and a great team ready to meet you where you're at. And how we define that are through 3 hubs. So we have family and transitional services, and that includes, of course, foster care. We work with individuals in transitional and independent living programs. We have Teen Parenting Services Network, that's statewide. Under another hub, which is therapeutic and clinical services, we're offering behavioral health services. We have 2 academies, learning centers. We also do residential services. And then, of course, under the hub that Jackie and I work under is prevention and empowerment services, where we're offering services through violence intervention and prevention, workforce development, and youth development. And then, of course, and then I don't want to leave out Pastor Fred. We do spiritual wellness and healing as well, as financial literacy.
A holistic approach to providing services that can sustain you as an adult or as an individual. So talk to me a little bit about, how UCAN programming has essentially impacted the community. I know we talked a lot about what we do, but have you seen it, up close and personal, and how, in your opinion, has the programming that you provide impacted the communities that you work in?
I mean, we're a trusted member of the community. We're not only just the community-based organization there, but we're a safe space. Individuals know that if they encounter us, they're going to work with a team of professionals that are going to see it through. Yes. In a lot of cases, we're meeting individuals in some of the worst spaces, right? Yes. The worst times of their lives. They're struggling financially. Recent, the gun violence that we're seeing in Chicago and other cities. But when they come to UCAN, there's a sense of family. And with that, we restore hope, right? We understand that a lot of things that we're seeing is driven on poverty and loss of hope. And that's our North Star, right? So really invest in each and every individual that we encounter to ensure that they leave better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the mission, right? Come in and leave better.
Yeah. It's a healing process for everyone, right? And each of our services, although different, it's about healing an individual and our community. And we do that through our partners and our funders who support us. And, of course, the partnership, right? Long-standing work in the workforce sector and has changed countless lives by allowing them to become self-sufficient.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, and I can say, as Evan said, we created a safe space for our young adults in this city, in so many pockets that they don't feel safe, that they can't come out their homes. But when they see the big green building with the white sign on it, they know it's a safe space there. Right, it's a beacon of safe space.
Absolutely. So oftentimes, we kind of get hung up in, when we think about violence, we think about men perpetrating the violence. And we kind of forget the fact that, women have been affected by violence as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. I understand that you guys have an initiative that focuses strictly on women. Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yes, thank you. UCAN did not forget. We did, data, and we're constantly looking at what's going on in our city. And over 150 women have fell victim to gun violence in the past 2 years in Chicago. Nearly 400 have been victimized. And UCAN's response was the SHERO program. And this is where we're empowering women who are at risk to firearm violence and domestic violence in those spaces as well. And we take a holistic approach to assisting our women. In this space, we're servicing 17 to 25-year-old women who have an opportunity to work with our team. And just to give you some components in the general bird's eye view on what this looks like, we approach it from a spiritual aspect where individuals have an opportunity to meet with a faith-based advisor, non-denominational, but faith. We're doing mentorship. They're attached to coaches who are working to identify their basic needs and their barriers and to address them as well. We have a fitness instructor that comes in and talks about, dietary plans, healthy meals, but then they're doing Zumba or whatever the new thing is for individuals to really, get healthy, right? Could be walks, runs, exercising, and then they do psychosocial groups twice a week. And it's an opportunity for women to really build a network of support and that cohort effect to know that they're not alone in this space. And, of course, workforce development, housing services and whatnot. And it's been successful for the past year. Since launch, we service nearly 100 individuals. 79% of them women have either engaged in career pathway services and or are employed.
If you guys can you please drop your contact information for our listeners to be able to connect with you guys moving forward?
Absolutely. So my number is...
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jackie.
No, go ahead, Evan.
As it relates to SHERO, if we have individuals interested in participating in the SHERO program or any other programming under the Violence Prevention Hub, you can go to, again, youcanlive.org or visit our company website. and there's tabs, and you can learn more about what we do and a little more in depth about each of the programs, and they'll enter their information, and a team will respond to them within 24 hours.
So all my listeners, go to the website, check out their services and the initiatives that they have to offer, and reach out. Maybe they have something specifically for you. Well, this was a show packed with wonderful information that the community can take advantage of. I really from UCAN, Jacqueline and Ed, thank you guys for coming on and sharing all of this great information to the audience today. And thank you to all our listeners who called in and wanted to be a part of WVON and the Partnership Show. Till next time, we'll see you guys right here, next Saturday.
Father, open our eyes that we may see to follow thee, Lord. Grant us thy loving peace, and let all dissension